The Calgary Stampede kicked off with the annual Stampede Parade, and this year's parade marshal was Alberta actor Owen Crowshoe. He's from the Piikani Nation and Blood Tribe in southern Alberta, and his family has a long history with the Stampede. Now, over the years, Calgary has seen an impressive assortment of big names leading the Stampede Parade, some with star power, others with political clout. Christine Leppard is the Stampede historian and manager of exhibits and experiences with the SAM Center, and she's with me in studio. Hello there.
Hi, Chris.
Thanks for joining us. So how did this tradition of having a parade marshal begin?
It really began with parades in Calgary. So well before the 1912 Calgary Stampede Parade, we already had a bit of a thing for parades here in Calgary. We did them to celebrate a whole bunch of different events and bring the whole community out. And so by 1912, there was this guy who is already pretty well known for leading parades in Calgary. It was Fire Chief Cappy Smart.
Ah.
Yeah. And so he got to be the parade marshal for the first Stampede Parade and really kicked off a tradition of having pretty cool, big deal in the community lead the Calgary Stampede Parade.
So it sounds like he was sort of, he was fire chief, but he was also sort of a local celebrity at that point. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I think it was. So he came to Calgary, he moved here from Scotland. And he started out sort of in this really young fire department. Calgary at the time was made of a lot of wood, and we didn't have things like easy access to fire hydrants. So public safety was really important. And Cappy Smart, at one point, he stopped a runaway group of horses, like a fire brigade group of horses. So he got the key to the city or the gold star from the city. And so he was not only building community, but he was a star. And so when the 1912 Calgary Stampede came along, Cappy Smart was sort of the natural leader at the time.
Mm-hmm. But as the international profile grew on the Stampede itself, it sounds like that was reflected also in the choice for the parade marshal.
Yeah, absolutely. So in 1925, an actor by the name of Hoot Gibson filmed a movie at the Stampede, and he was absolutely like a Hollywood star at the time. So sort of our first foray into having movie stars at the Stampede. Yeah. But it really picks up after the Second World War, when at that point the Stampede is saying, hey, we're a pretty big deal and Calgary's a pretty big deal. So let's bring in some amazing celebrities who can help put the city on the map.
Yeah. So when you look back on that list, who are some of the big movie stars and film stars who've had the role of Stampede Parade Marshal?
Yeah, we see a lot. We see people like Bing Crosby, Walt Disney, Mickey Mouse, and up to, of course, Kevin Costner from just last year and Owen Crowshoe from this year.
And Christopher Reeve did it, right?
Christopher Reeve did it, yeah, and I think in 1993 it was.
Oh, that's really interesting.
He put Calgary on the map in his own way with the Superman movie.
That's right, of course. And it hasn't just been stars of film. We've seen important political figures lead the parade. Who are some of those names that stand out to you?
Yeah, we've had a lot of prime ministers lead the parade. Lester Pearson, Pierre Trudeau. We've had, local leaders as well, Ralph Klein, premiers as well. And in a couple of different instances, the leaders of the Treaty 7 First Nations, the chiefs, have led the parade.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. And we've been talking, up until this point at least, about male parade marshals. What have we seen as far as female parade marshals?
Yeah, definitely fewer. Our parade marshals have trended male over the years, but that we have seen some really significant, powerful females in the role as well. We've seen, Amber Marshall, who brought Western culture to a whole new stage. We've seen athletes. The wife of the Mexican president once rode in the parade, or it was the honorary parade marshal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So obviously having some profile is a good sort of one thing to look for in a parade marshal. What else does the Stampede look for in this role?
Yeah, I think what's really special about this role is in any given year, the parade marshal really reflects what Calgary as a city is valuing at the time, what the Stampede is valuing at the time. And so over history, over time, we've seen humans who are either bringing Western culture to the world on stage or are through their lives embodying what we value here. So we've had Olympic athletes at the top of their game. We've had Olympic athletes who've given up spots in the Olympics for people who they thought could win in their stead. We've had champions, flames, we've had all of these humans. So they're putting Calgary on the map, but they're also reflecting some of the values that we have around hard work and community.
For sure. So it sounds like, it's very much a prestigious role, but it's also very visible, and it requires being out in the sun, waving for, who knows how long. How often do people say no to the role?
I don't know. So the selection of the parade marshal is at sort of the pleasure of the president that year, along with a very tight-knit group who get to know. So most of us only find out
when the public finds out.
Yeah, I never know in advance. So, I would imagine there's some people who've said no over the years, but I can't confirm that or deny it because I have no idea.
That's really interesting. I've also wondered, I don't know if you can answer this either, but how early in the year this is selected. There's so much that we don't know about what goes into the selection, but I wonder if that person is locked in for most of the year, or who knows, right?
No, I know. It's a little bit of a guessing game too. I think I found out in May, but again, most of us don't find out until the public announcement somewhere close to Stampede.
Yeah. So is there anyone that you would like to see as Stampede Parade Marshal?
Ooh, that's a good one. I kind of want to see one of those amazing, powerful female country music stars, whether it's, a Shania or a Dolly Parton or, even a Beyonce with her Cowboy Carter these days.
All
right?
three of those
Taylor
choices
Swift.
are
amazing. There's so many.
Yeah. I love all of those.
That's my secret dream.
Those are great. Those are great picks. What does this mean to you? How important is it to keep up the tradition of the parade marshal at the Calgary Stampede?
I love this tradition. It is a unique moment each year where, for those of us who attend the parade every year, it's surprise and delight. And again, it is that ability to reflect who we are as a community and celebrate together.
For sure. A lot of fun to talk about this, Christine. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Chris.